Wolfenstein: The New Order is better than you'd think. I would say it was a pleasant surprise, but after spending the last few months hearing nothing but praise about the game, I kind of expected it to be good. And it is, it's good. It's maybe even a little bit overhyped at this point. It doesn't reinvent the wheel or do anything particularly novel, but it's a really fun, well-executed first-person shooter that gets most things right. The game finds you as William B.J. Blazkowicz, who wakes up in 1960 after 14 years in an asylum to find that the Nazis have won the war and have taken over the world. It's an intriguing alternate history sci-fi setting, and though it is mostly window dressing to let you mow down hundreds of Nazis, it's interesting window dressing. The New Order seems to take a lot of cues from the Half-Life games. It's generally well-paced, offering a pretty good balance between over-the-top action set pieces and slower, more exploration and puzzle-focused stages. Most importantly, the combat feels pretty great, with tight controls and a nice sprinkling of old-school touches like a health bar and the lack of a minimap. It's fun, though I will say that some of the more heavily armored foes you face in the latter half of the game take an absurd amount of firepower to take down and can get a little monotonous to fight. And sadly, the game does start to feel a little repetitive and wears out its welcome a bit towards the end. I wish it had been tightened up a bit. By about the 10-hour mark, I was pretty fatigued with the game, so I cranked the difficulty down to easy and blasted through so I could see how the story played out. The cinematics and overall story are quite well done, though the game does have some pretty severe tonal shifts, with the fun, blast all Nazis gameplay sometimes feeling a bit at odds with the occasionally very serious storytelling. It kind of feels like the developers couldn't decide if they wanted to make the game fun and irreverent, or do something with a bit more emotional heft, and ultimately decided to just cram both things into the same game. This is, after all, a game that features moments like this.
I'm on the motherfucking moon.
The mouse on this one. I will clean it out with soap.
Interspersed with scenes like this.
The child was born with a club foot. Klaus knew, of course, what that meant. He begged the doctors not to report it to the authorities. When secret police showed up to take the boy away, Klaus and his wife tried to stop them. The wife died from a bullet to the head. The child, too. Klaus could not protect them.
The ending in particular feels a bit off. It's pretty effective in the moment, though whether something so emotionally stark is an appropriate coda for a game that finds you fighting robo-dogs and moon Nazis is questionable. Still, I appreciate that the game is more thoughtful than you'd think, both in its story and its gameplay mechanics, and it feels like more than just a series of set pieces in which you blast Nazis into smithereens, because let's face it, they could have done just that and we still would have played it. It's fun blasting Nazis into smithereens.